So we've had a good few bits of horror news and film related news that have been happening over the past week or so that I think quite exciting. The first one I'd like to start off with is that Arnold Schwarzenegger has tweeted that he has told his agency to start accepting scripts. So this means that we're going to start seeing Arnie on the big screen again. It's interesting. It's interesting. I know there's rumours that there's a film about an older soldier who is ordered to kill, massacre a group of children, and instead he decides to try and protect them and save them. I know there's rumours that that's one of the films that he's working on. But it'll be interesting to see. I really hope he doesn't go the Terminator route again, because I just don't think he could pull it off now. You may hear my neighbours screaming. Yeah, that wasn't coming from my basement. And that's creepy. I so like. I'm really looking forward to seeing Arnie back on the big screen. I didn't see End of Days. I saw The Sixth Day, and I think I saw Collateral. Was it Collateral Damage? Is that what it was called? Yeah. So I think he's still got some good films in him. I think Arnie's a really underrated actor. I think when you actually see him in something like Twins, and you see the way he is in Pumping Iron as well, I think he's got a great range beyond what a lot of the films that he's done seem to show. So really looking forward to seeing. Really hope he picks the right roles and doesn't try to play anyone younger than he is, or not that much younger than he is. I don't think they can really sort of pull off the sort of idea that he's this big, strong man in his physical peak anymore. I don't think that would work. But I think Arnie has done some phenomenal films, especially in the horror genre with Predator, science fiction genre, Total Recall. I mean, it's fantastic. Terminator is amazing. He's done so many great films, really has. Anyway, so looking forward to seeing him back on the big screen. I think we've missed him. And another thing that's happened recently is that the clip from Kevin Smith's Red State film has surfaced. Now, this is a film that Kevin Smith talked about for years. Basically said that, I think after sort of Jane Silent Bob Strikes Back, he felt, and then Clerks 2, he felt like he was sort of done with the View Askew universe, which is, if you don't know, Kevin Smith's a director who directed Clerks, that's his most famous film, and he's done a whole bunch of films that all take place in the same sort of universe. There's a lot of crossover between characters and things like that, cameos from different characters from different films, and I think he feels like he's done with that. I think he felt Clerks 2 sort of closed the circle of that part of his film career, and I think it will liberate him, I really do. So he'd been talking for a long time about Red State, which he said he's going to make a low budget horror film. Everyone was like, that's a bit sort of left field for him. So really interested to see it. So they showed you, there's a clip been released, I'll try and put a link to it below, and the clip seems to show three sort of young guys trying to, sitting, having a few drinks with an old prostitute in a caravan, waiting to pay for her services. It was quite uncomfortable to watch, but it made me think it might be quite interesting. I don't know much about the plot. What I do know is that that's what it starts off with. It starts with sort of three younger guys trying to get a prostitute, and then it leads on to them having a rather scary experience with some Christian fundamentalists. It may be controversial, I don't know, but I think Kevin Smith's taking influence from like the Phelps, is it the Phelps or Phelps family in America, who like they're the people that like picket when gay people die and things like that at their funerals, or soldiers that have died, they picket their funerals, just absolute idiots. But anyway, I think they've taken that and they're taking that to its extreme. So I don't know if we'll get a bit of a sort of Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe on that one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it because it was something completely different for Kevin Smith, and I think sometimes for a director, it's really good if they go and do something really different. Another piece of news is that the full trailer for The Wicker Tree has been released. Now, The Wicker Tree is, as far as I'm aware, not so much a sequel to The Wicker Man, which is a British horror film, a highly regarded British horror film from the 70s. And The Wicker Tree, I don't know if it's a sequel, I think it's been sort of marketed as a companion piece. Now, it's got Christopher Lee in it, and it's made by the same people that made The Wicker Man, so it'll be interesting to see. I think it involves a group of Americans going over to Scotland, and becoming victim to the sort of strange, sort of naturalistic, almost druid-like religion that seems to inhabit some of the islands. By the way, it doesn't really, but you know, in movie land, yeah, it does. Anyway, so the trailer's up. I'll put a link to it. Looks interesting. I'm not convinced. You know, it's been so long since The Wicker Man. I don't know if they're really just try to get some of the same people involved and try to sort of get some success off of The Wicker Man, rather than it being something that is really connected to it. I don't know, but we will see. I know it's based off a book by Hardy. I think it was called Cowboys for Christ or something like that. So it'll be interesting. Be really interesting. And lastly, Christopher Lee, who is a horror star. I think Christopher Lee's just wonderful, been fantastic in everything he's done. We've been told that he's going to get a BAFTA fellowship this year. It's like a Lifetime Achievement Award. It's the equivalent. It's like the British Oscars, kind of. But for some people, the BAFTAs are held in higher regard. I think some people feel sometimes the Oscars get it wrong, but the BAFTAs tend to get it right a lot of the time. But they do get it wrong as well sometimes, by the way. But then that's just opinion, it's just taste, isn't it? Anyway, so Christopher Lee's going to get a Lifetime Achievement Award. It's going to be great seeing it. He's had a fantastic career in horror. He's just been incredible. You know, when you look at all the Hammer films, Dracula, he played Frankenstein's monster. He played the Mummy. He was in The Wicker Man. Then obviously you've had some great performances in like Lord of the Rings as Saruman, and he was in some of my favourite anthology horror films as well. He's just been in so many things, and he's really connected to the horror genre. Just a wonderful actor. And if I've got time, a teaser trailer was released just before the Super Bowl about Super 8, which is a film by J.J. Abrams. It's produced by Steven Spielberg, and it looks interesting. We don't really know much about it. There's been a lot of secrecy, but it seems to be some sort of action adventure film that in parts is an homage to E.T. And apparently it's like combining the idea of kids filming the world around them and what happens if something escapes from Area 51. So that will be interesting. So that's the main sort of horror news, film based news that interested me. Have you guys heard anything that you think's interesting, or if you want to comment on any of the stories that I've mentioned in this video, please let me know. And like I say, if you hear anything, let me know about it and I'll look it up, and maybe that'll be in my next horror news, which should be next Friday. Alright, and thanks for watching.